All right, good morning, everyone. 10:47 in the East. We're going to do the latest. Now, there is another briefing coming up. It's my understanding the next briefing is going to be at 12 o'clock. At 12 o'clock will be, in fact, the next briefing. So that is what I am hearing. Let me just bring you the latest now. Obviously, there's been a lot of developments with this story. And yes, good morning, everyone. Let me just set this up. We are live on. Now, you can see behind me. So here's where the press briefing is going to take place. And what we do know, I'm going to give you the latest details. I know there's still a lot. People have a lot of questions. I understand that. But as of right now, they have someone in custody. It sounds like it is someone in their 30s. If you saw the press briefing yesterday, one of the questions was about age. And people are thinking maybe it's a student, someone that would be the age of a student that would be more in their 20s. But then we did hear yesterday at the briefing where they said it's an individual who is in fact possibly even 30. So as of right now, what police have revealed is they have a suspect in custody. They have gone now with the age that the individual could be an individual 30 or in their 30s. So, but we did learn a lot regarding, there was the briefing this morning at 7 o'clock. We did not make that. The next briefing, right now it's 10:49, but everyone is, wondering when can they get some more information. So I'm going to try to provide this for you. This is where the briefing is going to take place. And several questions that we want to learn as we're waiting for the briefing. So I know that I recognize that a lot of people have questions. Let's go. We did learn a lot with what they told us, and that is the fact that, and I want to give credit to Channel 12, they're the ones that I saw that had it, was that they detained a person of interest at the Hampton Inns in Coventry, and that's right off of 95, center of New England Boulevard. And right now, we are live on Facebook, we're live on TikTok. Thank you for everybody, all of our TikTok people. Make sure you follow the page, our TikTok family. But we are live on Facebook and X and YouTube right here. So good morning, one and all. So here's what we know. They have not released, here's some of the questions. I just want to jump in. I know people want to fire questions, but I'll tell you some of the questions that I have at the press briefing. And if you've been watching our coverage, you'll know that they come to me, and I want to thank everyone that has been so supportive, and they like the fact a lot of the questions that I ask. So, and that comes from, everything with Road Patrol Live, that we cover so many of these that you get a good understanding of it. But I want to, some of the things. So number one, we obviously want to know who is the individual, who is the person of interest that is in custody. I'm going to ask some questions. And I have a feeling that some of the questions that I'm going to mention to you right now are questions that many of you have. So, such as, who is the individual? Why did they pick that building in that class? And I'm going to be very specific here. Now, we've learned, because yesterday, when we first came on the scene, it was unknown, was it all over the campus? Police, first responders, they were looking for different, if there were victims in some of the dormitories, if there were victims in some of the halls around the campus. So I want to repeat right now, the next press conference, my information tells me it's 12 o'clock. Coming up at 12, it's 10:51, so 12 o'clock. Now here's some of the questions I want to go through that have not been revealed, such as, obviously, who is the individual? Why did they pick that classroom in that building? We don't know. Now, they do say the person of interest, whoever the gunman is, they did yell something when they entered the auditorium. Now, we don't know yet. I have heard, and there's some things online of people that are claiming what the person yelled. That has not been confirmed. So, what we do know is, here are some of the questions. Why did that individual pick that building in that classroom? Now, we also have, I want to go through, because this is developing. So, what does it tell us that they're staying at the Hampton Inn, Center Boulevard in Coventry? Well, it tells me that that sounds like it was someone that came in from out of town. If you were local, right, like yesterday, we were thinking, is it possible that this is a student? Is it possible that it's someone that went back to a dorm? Could it be someone that lives off campus? It sure doesn't sound that way. It's not entirely, but police tracked the person of interest to the Hampton Inn in Coventry, center of New England Boulevard. So here's what I see as some of the questions. Who is the individual? What was the weapon used, obviously? Do they have the weapon? Now, there was some interesting reporting. It's just coming over now that there will be an update at noon. But I want to go, and I give credit, Channel 12 that I saw, WPRI, they broke that they were at the Hamptons Inn in Coventry, Center New England Boulevard. And that's where we believe that they located the suspect. Now, also, Brown University has canceled classes, exam papers, and projects. This is Tom Winter of NBC News. Witnesses told police that Brown University's shooter's gun had a unique characteristic. Two senior law enforcement officials say that when the person they believe was responsible, he had a weapon matching that description. So that's wildly important. So, but here's what we want to come back to. Who is the individual? Where are they from? What brought them? Why did they stay at the Hampton Inn, Center of New England Boulevard in Coventry? Why did they pick that building? Why did they pick that class? All unknown. I recognize there's some things online, and people are falling for different things. I urge you to, we're going to know a lot more, I believe, coming up at 12 o'clock. Now, I want to give credit Ocean State Media. A Brown economics professor said this happened in a review session for the final exam of her principles of economics course. She learned what happened from a teaching assistant. The room has stadium seating with doors that enter at the top. So think of when you're going in where it's stadium seating, so you enter from the top and then walk down. The individual came in the door, yelled something, and then just started blasting. Students started to scramble, trying to get lower down, and some of them were unsuccessful. Now, from what we understand, students that were in the middle, they had a tough time. If you were on the end, or if you were all the way down at the bottom, it sounds as though you had a chance to, escape, so to speak. So now, I recognize some of the things online, our people are claiming they know what the individual yelled when they came in. There is no information about that. I know that some people are questioning about, is it definitely a male? We're going off what police said. Police said it was a male, and the police did say that they believed it could be someone 30 or in their 30s. So that much we know. So I want to go through. I have people saying, I think it's a woman. That's not what police said. Now, it's possible, but that's not what police said. Thank you for the cap there. Good. Thank you very much, folks. We're going nonstop. I didn't get home last night till like 1 o'clock, after 1 o'clock. And then there's no way. It was snowing. Thank you very much, Susie. There's no way I was going to make 7 o'clock. But at the same time, they didn't reveal who the suspect is, person of interest. The person is at the Providence Public Safety Complex. So now a couple of things as we approach the top of the hour. So there's going to be a briefing here coming up. We're going to be live I'm going to be right here. I'm going to step out. You can see they're going to be right there. This is where we have been. We're in Providence. This is Fox Point, Brook Street. You come off of Wickenden, and then we're right here. So if you're on TikTok, make sure you follow the page. If you're on YouTube or X or Facebook, make sure you follow the page. You can certainly share that you are watching. But what we know is, so far they've been saying a person of interest. A person of interest is in fact in custody. But outside of that, we don't know a lot. But here's a couple of things. So last night when I left, I want to share with you. I got information. I had a pretty good feeling last night that they knew who they were looking for. So now whether or not that has, when I left here last night, there did not seem to be, there didn't seem to be what I would describe as, and I'm sending a message to our mods on Facebook, and let me just, I'm at the same time, okay, I just sent Garney a message, so we don't know that. I know someone is reporting that, but I'm not going to repeat it, because then all people hear is that, that we're repeating false information. We've had enough of that. Now, yesterday, just so you know, even the President of the United States came out and said that they thought, and even Brown University said they thought they were suspect in custody. So we want to slow it down. We want to deal with what we know. Good morning, Jane Rice. So, no, there's zero tolerance on a day like today, when we're going to have a lot of people tuning in for our live stream. And this is all, we still have a long way to go here. Everybody is still everyone is just filing in. Everyone just found out there's going to be a 12 o'clock press briefing. We've obviously had known. What I want to go through, again, remember now that they are trying to determine, let me say one more. Oh, I'm getting some information here. Oh, okay, that's interesting. Okay. All right. That's really interesting. I'm going to wait to get that confirmed. So, again, good morning. It is still morning. It's just 11 o'clock. We are 1 hour away from the latest briefing. So, what we know is, in fact, they have a person of interest in custody. And you do have the FBI and the Coventry Police in Coventry at the center of New England Boulevard. So, now, a couple of things. Last night, when I was reading it, I got the sense that they knew who they were looking for. And to be honest, yesterday, as we were watching this, if you saw the briefings that were here, this is at the Brook Street station, we certainly got the sense that police knew more than what they were letting on. You got to remember, it's very possible the suspect was following the coverage. There were people saying they thought the suspect was long gone. He was not in the immediate area, but the suspect was, in fact. That is about 20 minutes from here. Actually, I could put it on a Google map. And Hampton Inn is right at the sun. So it's 20 minutes. It's 20 minutes from here. That's where they believe they have the person of interest. So now, what don't we know? We don't know who is this individual. We don't know where they're from. We don't know motive. We don't know what brought them here. But last night, a couple of things. Brown University, they have a tremendous number of cameras. So as I was listening, just like you, right here at this press briefing, when they were saying that they don't exactly have the footage inside, I know Brown has, number one, they have Brown police. It's not just security. They have Brown police. They have tremendous security. They have tremendous police force. But they also have cameras everywhere. So it sure sounds, from what I gathered, and I could tell last night, after that last briefing, at midnight, whatever time it was. When I left here, I could just tell there was a big police presence out on the streets, but I believe they felt that they were going to first get the students evacuated. And by the way, Brown University, they have canceled all classes, all exams, all projects. So students are free to leave the campus. That is possible. We're going to wait to see on that. I see someone is saying they acted on a tip from the hotel manager. Very possible. So we're going to wait. There's been a lot of, we're going to understand, in the last, this broke yesterday, happened right around 4 o'clock, 4:15, the calls started coming in. We were on scene here yesterday at 4:45. Since then, as many of you know, there's been a number of different wrong information. People were sending me all kinds of numbers of people that were deceased, injured. So what we do know is, to me, it came off as though police had a pretty good idea of who they were looking for. It was really just piecing it together, making sure the right person. So I want to go back to some of the questions that we had. That's a good one. How did they locate the suspect? We don't know that. Maybe it was a tip from someone at the hotel. Did the flock cameras come into place? Flock cameras are very effective in Providence. Flock cameras are very effective where they can, once they have a hit on a license plate, and they get that from different flock cameras that they have, they can then literally travel and trace exactly where that vehicle could be going. So what we're looking to find out, and this press briefing is going to be coming up at 12 o'clock, and we're going to carry it live right here. Again, what we're waiting to hear, and I want to hear, number one, who is the individual? Number two, what brought them to the area? This seems very, very targeted. Number three, why did they go to that building at that time? Now remember, most of the time these buildings, you need an ID that you swipe to get in. Except because there was several exams going on, for whatever reason, on a weekend during the day, it sounds like they have it more at night when they in fact swipe, or that you have to swipe to get in. So that makes it easy access. Why did that individual pick that classroom on that day? Why did they wait until 4 o'clock? Did they check into the hotel first? Did they check into the hotel afterwards? Did someone tip them off that there was someone suspicious? Was it someone wearing all black and someone noticed when in fact, thank you Joshua, when they were checking in? We don't know. So number one, motive is crucial here. The person that was running the class, so there was a teaching assistant. This is what has been reported. Rachel Freiberg, a Brown economics professor, happened at a review session for her final exam, Principles of Economics. But she learned from a teaching assistant, so she wasn't there. Did the individual, the person of interest who's in custody, did they think that Rachel Freiberg, the Brown economics professor, did they think that she was going to be the one leading this? This wasn't actually an exam. It was a review session for the final exam, Principles of Economics course. So it is, or was, final exams here at Brown University. And so you're the teaching assistant there. And again, they're saying, and when you have that many witnesses, and as of right now, you still have 2 that did not make it, and then you have 9 people in the hospital. So a total of 11 victims, which qualifies as a mass event. And so it's going to be, we want to know what they yelled. because that could be a motivation. Thank you, Susan. That could be the motivation. Did the individual pick that particular class? Did they expect that this Rachel professor was going to be there? Was it a student class? We don't know. There's so much that we don't know because we don't know exactly who it is yet. So, but I'm not going to go through all the false information. I know a lot of people have questions, and it's key. Did they recover the weapon that was used? I can tell you if they did, it's being tested. I know it's being reported that it's very possible that some magazines, thank you, Susan, were recovered. So it's actually 9 injured. 9 injured. I know that I just saw that someone put out 8, but then we learned that we have learned that then someone was hit by some shrapnel. So let's see. I want to just see. Person that was taken into custody, we know that. Other than that, I mean, it's tough, folks, because there are a lot of things floating out there. You know, I'll mention one. Someone said, you know, here's a statement. I have no idea why people do this. Here's a statement from the chief of police, and it said Hugh Clements. We know that Hugh Clements is no longer the chief. It's Chief Oscar Perez, who I thought was excellent last night. But here's what I think you need to know, and that is that I believe pretty early on, although they didn't let us know, I think they had a pretty good idea of who they were looking for. So we're going to be live right here. Press briefing is going to be coming up at 12 o'clock the latest. Now there, we should learn who this person is, who's of interest. We should also learn, are they being charged yet? Are they just in custody? It's going to take place right here. So all of that is going to be coming up in less than 1 hour. So we might as well just leave it right here, and you're going to be able to see as the briefing takes place and gets underway. All right, now again, I am getting some more information, but we're going to wait. There's no reason to jump the gun. It's within the window, and I think that we're going to possibly, I don't know. I mean, listen, last night, there were already people posting who they thought it was. I don't know why people do that. But as of right now, okay, I see Abby from Channel 10 says, I was allowed inside briefly to the Hampton Inn. They detained the person of interest. I saw, this is Abby Rita Trivoli. I saw caution tape blocking the hallway on the first floor. Officers going into a room. ATF, FBI, and Coventry PD are there. So that is at the Hampton Inn in Coventry, it's kind of off the highway, center of Maryland Boulevard. So a couple of things. Let's go through some of the questions. And I also want to remind people that when they have a question, it doesn't mean that they're going to answer it. You got to remember, this is a very serious case. They don't want to jeopardize the investigation. Look at what's going on, by the way, with Luigi Mangione in New York, where they're already trying to say, the way the police handled that it's going to be impossible for him to get a fair trial, and so they want the whole thing tossed out. So we don't know who it is. I think it's interesting. We'll find out where they're from. Here's some questions you got to ask. If you lived locally and you did this, would you check into a nearby hotel? I don't, I mean, unless that was part of the plan, how much of it was the plan? When did this individual check in? Um, I don't know that. Again, I want to caution people. I did see, there's a picture that someone put online
Right
of who they claim the suspect is, but we have no evidence to suggest that that is in fact the person. So it's still a total unknown at this point. And like I said, we're going to be able to know sooner rather than later exactly who it is that was involved. But this also tells me they, in essence, they moved pretty fairly quickly on this whole thing. They certainly moved quickly with this whole thing. And now it's just going to be a matter. We want to find out who is the individual, why was that building targeted, why was that auditorium targeted, the whole motive, what did they yell? I think that's going to be very key as to what did they yell when in fact, supposedly when they burst into a room, they yelled something. And I've seen people speculating online what they think that was. But as of right now, we don't know who it is. Unless, I agree, it does seem a little odd that you would check into a hotel unless, I don't know. Maybe we're going to learn a little bit more about that. If they have the individual, they can also then get access to the phone, and they've learned that that can play a huge difference with this. But I could tell last night when we were leaving here that police, I'm not going to say they seemed relieved, but it just seemed they had a very good understanding of who they were looking at. So although it was still a massive manhunt, it was unknown. So let me just also check. That would be interesting if someone at a desk clerk, someone claims someone at the desk clerk tipped off the police. There's so much things that are flowing right now. What we do know is they feel very confident that this individual who was seen on the video leaving in that surveillance, going right down Hope Street and then taking the right on Waterman. And if you watched last night, we were right at that corner. People have mentioned that he has his right hand, and the right hand never comes out. I'll show it again. People thought that the individual was walking with some kind of an unusual gait. It's possible. I want to play that again. This was the video, of course, that they had released of the suspect. I mean, that's all they had. I admit, last night it seemed, I could tell that people were frustrated. People were frustrated that they didn't think getting enough information. But what we do know is, so Coventry Police, they're at this Hamptons Inn and with the FBI, and right now, and we may go by there after this, that they are at that Hamptons Inn, center of New England Boulevard, and they're going room to room, and we believe that's where they got the suspect. That is the information that we're going with. So I want to step back again. So we're waiting for this press briefing. It's going to begin at 12 o'clock. And that is where, again, these are some of the things that you're watching right now. If that's true, if that is true. We don't know, did they, let's go through, did they know who they were looking for? Did someone say, I know who you're looking for, that's what they're saying? Did a flock camera, grab the plate, and then they go from there? Press briefing is coming up at 12 noon. So we are just about 40 minutes away. I also want to make a couple mentions. Again, we are right in Providence, Brook Street. This is where the briefings have been. A couple of things. Number one, Mayor Smiley, the mayor of Providence. I mean, I think he's been great. I think Providence Police Chief, the Colonel, Perez, has been excellent. Deputy Chief O'Hara, excellent. I know a lot of people have been somewhat complaining about all the politicians that are here. I'll be honest, I'm not sure why. The governor, I don't think the governor's really added a lot. Obviously, it's a very tight relationship with Governor McKee. We want to see if President Paxson is going to be here. But just so you know, the shelter in place has been lifted. Students are now free to go home. Totally free to go home. All exams have been canceled, and so students are free to go home. Exams, projects, everything like that have been canceled for Brown University. So right now it's 11:18 in the East, and I want to keep it watching, a little redundant. Hi there, Farah. Hey there, Kristen Perry. Folks, remember, if you're on TikTok, make sure you follow the page. Thank you for the caps. We've been going nonstop. I was second one on scene yesterday, and you saw we were here very, very late this morning. You know, there was a briefing this morning, but I didn't find it to be a lot of information. Thank you, Mac, and I appreciate that. Again, we are on Facebook, obviously, our main one, and then also YouTube, and then also on X as of right now. So this briefing is going to be coming up. That's possible. Someone's claiming at 3:45 they got it. It's possible. I don't know that. We're going to learn more details. Folks, I also want to remind people, we're going to get all the information. People can speculate if they want, but we're going to really know coming up in a short amount of time. One thing I want to mention, I think it's helpful in something like this. Number one, if you like, you can put where you're watching from. But number two, if you're putting a statement, I think it would be helpful if you would list what is your source of that information. For instance, someone posted, thank you, there's frustrating. Someone posted, they got him at 3:45. How do you know that? Where did you get that from? Someone else posted a comment that it was the desk clerk or the manager, whoever, at the Hamptons Inn that tipped off the police. Again, how do you know that? So all of these things I find would be helpful for us to sort out, what's legitimate and what is not legitimate. So we're going to know. They're going to be starting in just about 40 minutes. So we might as well stay. We have the feed up and going. And we're going to have a good sense of this. And I think we're going to know, as I said, we're going to learn who is the individual. Right now, this is all, it's going to be starting at just about 40 minutes from now. So I know some people, it is kind of loud in here. It won't be when they begin. Everyone is filing in. Again, we want to learn how did they get the person of interest in custody. Is the person talking? Are they cooperating? Why did they pick that building? Why did they pick that room? Where are they from? How did they, get all that? Why did that individual yesterday, right around 4 o'clock, go into that building that is right up the street from where we're standing right now? And why did that take place? We don't know. So right now, again, there's a lot of yes. It is crazy out here. So we don't know. Are you on right now? I am. Again, I also want to let everyone know. So we are this stream right now. We're live on TikTok. We're also live on Facebook and YouTube and X. So remember, if something happens with one of the feeds, you have backups of which you could go to. So if for whatever reason things can happen and the feed goes out, you can, on TikTok, you go to the top of the page, you'll find the link to Facebook. And conversely, if you're on Facebook, you could always go to X or YouTube. So we're going to wait as the media is coming in. So far, no sign of any of the police or any of the officials or anything like that. I came from the other racing.
It was kind of hard to find stuff.
Again, folks, we're going to be coming up. I'm like giving credit to some of the other media here. Let's see. Okay. Corey Welch of Channel 12. We saw two large federal investigator trucks enter the scene a short time ago. So they're still going through the scene here in Providence. All right. I want to give credit to Ryan Welch of Channel 12. Providence Police going into the building behind the hotel, reading computer rhythm. This building does have a security going towards the hotel. So you have two investigations going on right now. One at the hotel in Coventry, the Hamptons Inn, and then obviously federal investigators are still going through the auditorium here at the Brown University campus. So right now it's 11:25, and this briefing is going to be coming up at 12 o'clock. We're going to stay right here. Again, you can watch the streams. We have our TikTok stream and also the YouTube and Facebook and X. I want to repeat, all they have told us right now is they have a person in custody. And I also want to just stress to everyone that police have not released any statement about the situation in Coventry. Police have not said anything, but that is the media that are there, and they see Coventry police, and they see the FBI, and the Providence police. So it's the media regarding the presence at the Hamptons Inn in Coventry. So make no mistake about it. So I also want to just clarify. It was last night we were right here when I think it was Steve Cooper, Channel 7. I think it was Coop that said exactly the age. And that was the first time we heard that people could be 30 in their 30s. And then this morning, I believe the police reaffirmed and said they believe someone in their 30s. So now we haven't gotten any information differently than the individual is male and they have a person of interest. They have not announced any charge yet. They haven't given any type of name. You're seeing a name out there. Some key things that we want to look for at this press briefing. Obviously, who is the individual? Why did they pick that building? Police may not know that. Why did they pick that building? Why did they pick that auditorium? What did they yell when they went into the auditorium? So witnesses have told us they believe the individual yelled something. And then when everything began. So right now it's 11:28. So we're just about 32 minutes. Right now, this is the biggest story in the country. And we're going to bring you this press conference live. And I don't know. We'll learn more. We'll learn more if there's going to be any more press briefings after this, or we also want to learn the FBI's involvement. There's a lot that we're going to learn. But just to recap for everyone, we they have not released a name. They have not released a photo. They haven't released any type of arrest. They haven't said. I know there's one media report where they believe they found possibly some ammo, but there's been nothing official from police. According to police, all they have told us was person of interest in custody, and they didn't change the fact that they had initially said that it was a male individual that they were looking for. And what I mean by that is, they haven't come out and said, by the way, the person of interest is female. But it seems to be male, 30 years old, in their 30s, we don't know. Why did they pick, as I said, that classroom? Why did they pick that building? Where did they come from? If they're local, why did they stay there? Is it? I don't know. Now remember, some people were talking about students. You got to remember that Brown also has graduate programs. So you have a lot of individuals who are in and around the campus who it's not everybody is 22 or 21. So you have a number of different individuals because of all the grad students. There's people in their late 20s, there's people in their 30s, they're all, ages of individuals. I want to repeat, I know people have questions. I'm looking at that. How did they get the guy? We don't know that. They haven't released that. All of these questions. So we're going to be starting. Everyone else is saying they can hear it fine. So maybe turn up your device. But we're going to be starting in just about 30 minutes. I want to once again just stress to everyone what they are still, the last update that we had was that it was a person of interest. So they have not used the word suspect yet. We don't know. I know people are saying, how did they link this individual? Unknown. We don't know that. All the police released this morning was that they have a person of interest in custody. And by the way, that also obviously coincides with the fact that they have lifted the shelter-in-place order for the campus. We're going to, last night obviously everyone's got a lot of questions, but we're going to wait to see. They may not reveal. Thank you. They may not reveal, everything just yet. So, but I believe right now this press conference is coming up in less than a half hour. Mayor of Providence has certainly been in command. Thank you, Jessica. Mayor of Providence has, that's exactly right, Chris said. Thank you. Chris is on it. I want to thank the mods. So, listen, we're going to bring it to you. Those of you who have watched, I cover this. We cover this. You can tell. I've heard my phone is blown up with people here, how they address me by name, recognize the voice. So we cover this, and it is remarkable. People, I think, look at the Charlie Kirk situation. That took a little while. The suspect left the area, and had it not been for the grandparents and the parents convincing that suspect to come forward, that, who knows how long that would have gone. So I know people have a lot of questions. Let's see what they're going to answer for us. But some of the things that we want to know, obviously, is who is this individual? Are they from here? Where are they from? Why did they pick that building? Why did they pick that auditorium? What did they yell when they went in? What was the intent? Are they cooperating? What type of video do they have of the individual? As you can imagine, something this high profile trouble, they want to make sure they have the right person in custody. That's why you have the FBI involved, you have President Trump involved. So they certainly want to make sure, that this is being handled by the book. Because as I mentioned, look at with the Luigi Mangione situation, where his attorneys are looking to get that evidence tossed, saying that the police at that McDonald's didn't have the right to search it. Look what's going on with the Charlie Kirk situation, where they're trying to argue, because of statements made by law enforcement, that it will be impossible for that individual to get a fair trial. So something of this nature, this is the highest level. Let's see who's here from the FBI. But I want to repeat, I think Mayor Smiley and Mayor of Providence, I think he's done a fantastic job. I think he's up for re-election next November. I think the election is over. I think he's been fantastic in handling this. I don't think the governor's added anything. Those of you that saw Commander Perez, I think the Providence Police, they moved very quickly, rapidly. They got the word out. We're going to learn more of how they found out. That's exactly right. I know last night some people were somewhat critical that law enforcement are not answering enough questions, but what they did do was they were able to get the individual that they believe right now. Again, they're still just calling it a person of interest who's in custody at the moment. So now, those of you that also follow, there's only a certain length of time that you could hold someone unless they are in fact being charged with something. So, short of that, they want to piece this together as quickly as possible because otherwise you got to have some legitimate reason to hold someone. So we're just about 20 minutes out from the briefing. And again, this is right on Providence's east side. This is right at the foot of the Brown campus. Actually, Brown is really all over downtown Providence. So if you're watching, again, you can share it. We don't know that. That has not been released. Remember, right now, this morning, all they released was that they had a person of interest. I'm not saying that those aren't legitimate questions. What time did they get the individual? How did they find the individual? What did they find with the individual? I'm sure that they have a very good idea of the ballistics. I mean, you'd like to think what police would like would be if they can match, if the individual had a weapon and then they can match it with what they have at the scene. I can tell you that the FBI investigators are all over the scene right up the street from here, right here at the Brown campus where this took place. Again, if you watch some of the video that we did last night, you can see that we were right at the corner where that suspect left Hope Street and took the right at Waterloo. So that is true. Person of interest doesn't equate the shooter. Person all in black. Well, that's all they had at the time. So I'm sure we're going to learn more. Listen, you got to step back. The high-profile nature of this. You have the President of the United States involved. You have a major Ivy League university. Right now, this is the lead story in this country. I'm aware of the incident that happened elsewhere. But when you have police, when you have FBI, unless Candace Owens starts claiming that it's someone else, that's what we know. I want to be very clear. We don't know what video they have inside. We don't know what they found at this Hamptons Inn in Coventry. So there's still a lot that we don't know. But we do know that they're going to be starting in a little under 20 minutes from now.
Could be a crime scene.
So right now it is 11:40. I'm sure there's something. And again, I get that people have questions. You're just going to have to wait until press briefing, and they're going to be right on the microphone behind me.
Was it be 11? Yeah.
But we don't know if that's correct. TMZ gave more information than the police gave. But you don't know that that's accurate.
Well, yeah, that press was long.
Okay, there's that's Deputy Chief O'Hara has entered right over there. So Deputy Chief, the Commander, O'Hara. Who's here? So folks, you gotta remember, TMZ's not running the investigation. That's right. TMZ's not running the investigation. So we're gonna be starting in just a couple minutes. We don't know yet. Possible. Doesn't matter. Christmas is coming. All right, this is a post from Kash Patel. Update on the FBI response at Brown. FBI Boston established a command center, activated the FBI cellular and analyst survey team. As a result, earlier this morning, FBI's Boston Safe Street Task Force, with assistance from U.S. Marshals in Coventry, detained a person of interest in a hotel room in Coventry, based off a lead by the Providence Police. Digital media intake portal and the victim special is fully integrated. So that is Kash Patel of the FBI. We don't know that. That's interesting. Kash Patel of the FBI, to me, basically trying to take credit for this. So we're just about 15 minutes out. We're going to get in position, everyone. So bear with me just for a moment.
This ground, 7 o'clock.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's good to be there. Or even if you move over to your left.
Hey. London.
Okay, folks, we're just 15 minutes out. That was City Council President Rachel Mueller-Yasor coming in. This is at the Brook Street Station, where right across the street from us is the Brown University campus. This is the fire station that is right at the campus. Sorry. I believe this is, looks like Senator Jack Reed. This looks like Senator Jack Reed pulling up. So that is Senator Jack Reed arriving. That is Senator Reed. You're going to see him make his way in. There is Rhode Island Senator Jack Reed.
Safety lesson.
Just the police like covered every my office.
Yeah, whoever calls him. But he, yeah, he was safety lesson.
That's Brown University President Christina Paxson making her way in. Now, after this, we may take a ride and go by the hotel, the Hamptons Inn in Coventry. So, but again, we're going to be starting, they're going to be starting at just 10 minutes out, 10 minutes out. This is the latest briefing now, Brown University
You can see
incident.
it from the and then we went around the back and see it.
Is that Fitzpatrick from the Boston Globe? I appreciate that. Well, if you like the questions, become a subscriber. Right, it's U.S. Marshals. Now, not to jump ahead, but it will be interesting to know what type of charges the individual is going to face. Meaning, are they going to face federal charges? Obviously, they face state charges. But this amount of presence of FBI, U.S. Marshals. It should also be noted that they basically got this individual in about 12 hours. That's Lieutenant Governor Sabina Matos arriving. But we are 8 minutes out. 8 minutes out. Again, I want to just go through some of the things that we're looking for them to provide. Who is the individual? Why? Where are they from? Why did they pick that building? Why did they pick that auditorium in the building? And what evidence do the police have? How did they locate the individual? These are all questions that we want to get, and we're going to be asking. So again, right now, again, we are live on TikTok. Make sure you follow the page on TikTok. We're also live on YouTube, and Facebook, and X. Now remember, if you're on some of these other platforms, if you're watching on Facebook, make sure you follow the YouTube channel. If you're watching on TikTok, make sure you follow the Facebook channel. That way, if anything ever goes out, then you're covered. Here comes Attorney General Peter Neronha. He was here last night. That's the general arriving. But by all accounts, Providence Police, we're going to learn, but it's very possible that they had the person of interest in less than 12 hours. Keep in mind, this took place right around 4 o'clock. Here comes Mayor Smiley. The mayor of Providence is arriving. He's been very impressive through this. His stock has risen tremendously. There's Mayor Smiley. Here comes Josh Estrella. Mayor Smiley has really been fantastic in this. Again, this was right after 4 o'clock yesterday. One of the victims called 911. Or actually, I think one of the victims called. They have their own number to call on the Brown University campus, and I think that Brown then transferred that call to the Providence Fire. So when we were back here yesterday, it was just about 4:20, and the nature of this, an active individual going on, right? Multiple victims, mass casualty incident. Again, just a reminder, right now, we have 2 victims that didn't make it, and then you had 8 that were injured at the scene, and then apparently they added another one last night that suffered shrapnel. So 9 total in the hospital. Yes, this is the Brook Street Fire Station. This is right in Fox Point. Here comes Congressman Gabe Amo, about to enter. This is right on the Brown campus. This is on Brook Street, and Hope Street is 1 street over. So, but this is right across the street is, in fact, and here comes Governor McKee has arrived. So we're just 5 minutes out. 5 minutes out. So here is the governor of Rhode Island Governor Dan McKee, and his staff. The governor has been in touch and spoken with President Trump. Now, there's a big ABC reporter. Luke is here. Luke Barr is here. His father's the principal of Classical. Luke Barr is a rising star in media. But back to, let's see, this is Stefan Pryor arriving. Huh, he's the deputy. That's interesting. Stefan Pryor, who's the deputy Commerce Secretary. Showing up. Hi there, Ryan. Yes, 100%. So we are just 4 minutes out. So again, I want to go through some of the questions that we want to find out. Who is the individual? How did they find them? Why did this individual, if they know, they may not know. Why do they believe that this person is the person? And that's going to be crucial in this day and age of conspiracies. That's going to be very crucial as to why did they pick that building and why did they pick that auditorium? Unknown. All right, this is we're live on TikTok, we're live on Instagram, we're live on Facebook, YouTube, and X. Here on Instagram, you can join. There's going to be coming up in just 4 minutes. Latest press refresh. Brown University, Providence. They have a person of interest in custody. We're going to learn a lot more. If you're watching right now on Instagram, you can join us on either Facebook or TikTok or YouTube or X. Again, this is a come and join. Anyone watching on Instagram. We're not going to be live here on Instagram the whole time, but you can join one of our other platforms. You have the governor, you have the mayor, you have the FBI, you have the Providence Police, and we're going to learn more about exactly what happened with this incident at Brown University. Well, you don't want a camera.
I know.
You
looked nice. I told him he looked good.
No,
Yeah, but still, my wife's here. No, good for you.
he is. I was very happy when I saw him win.
All right, we're 2 minutes out. 2 minutes out. I've not seen Senator Sheldon Whitehouse here. I've not seen Senator Sheldon Whitehouse here. Now, this is a fire station, and this is where all the briefings have been. This will be the 5th update briefing. So we've seen Brown University President Christine Paxson is here, Governor McKee is here, Senator Jack Reed is here. But the person who's been leading this has been the Mayor of Providence, Mayor Smiley. He has been about as good as you can be. And I've not seen Colonel Oscar Perez, but he may have somehow slid in. I did see Commander O'Hara. Again, we should be starting momentarily. Remember, if you're watching on TikTok, you can follow the page. Thank you for the caps. Non-stop live coverage. There's Jerry Stern. Everybody on Facebook. Make sure you follow the page. You can share that you're all watching. Something 1, 2, 1, 2. And here they come. And I do see Commander Perez. It's the head of the Rhode Island State Police. That's the FBI agent. It's Commander Oscar Perez. Attorney General Peter Neronha. Is ATF. That's Senator Jack Reed. Congressman Gabe Amo, that's Commander O'Hara. And it's Councilman Gonzalez. And then we're waiting for, here comes Brown University President Christina Paxson, Provost Brown. It's next to Commander O'Hara. That's the head of Brown University Police in red. And there is Mayor Smiley and Governor McKee. Okay, this is Providence Mayor Brett Smiley.
Good afternoon. Again, I'm Providence Mayor Brett Smiley. I'm joined with Governor McKee, who we will hear from in just a moment. We're also joined by Senator Jack Reed and Congressman Gabe Amo. And we will hear from Senator Jack Reed in a moment on behalf of Rhode Island's federal delegation, who've been in touch with us throughout this incident over the last day. And as both the governor and I have said on multiple occasions, the amount of federal resources and cooperation that we've received is extraordinary. And that extends to our representatives here in Rhode Island. And then finally, Colonel Oscar Perez will give an update as well. At this time, we have no update to share on the investigation. It is ongoing. There's no reason to believe that we've hit any roadblocks, other than to say that we are doing what we know how to do in cooperation with our law enforcement partners to ensure that we adequately, thoroughly investigate the situation, and when we are ready to make a further announcement, we will do so. We know there's some information circulating, but we will not share any information that might compromise our investigation or future charges. So at this time, we have no official updates to share with respect to the investigation. Next, it's clear that our community is still in shock and hurting. And now that the initial phase of the investigation has made some progress, we're turning our attention to caring for our neighbors, both the Brown community, the broader Providence community, and truly all of Rhode Island. The City of Providence has stood up a website, the address of which is providenceri.gov/community response resources. There you can find a long list of community resources for mental health care, what to do in the event of trauma, how to help talk about events like this with your kids, to try to help families, neighbors, community members start to understand how to process that which has been so difficult for us. Finally, the Providence City Council, who've been excellent partners, and again, we're joined by leaders from the City Council, including the councilman for this area, Councilman John Gonsalves, is inviting the Providence community and really anyone who'd like to join us tonight at 5 p.m. at Lippitt Park, where there had been a previous plan to light a Christmas tree and to light a menorah for the first night of Hanukkah. And for those who know at least a little bit of the Hanukkah story, it is quite clear that if we can come together as a community and shine a little bit of light tonight, I think there's nothing better that we could be doing as a community. And so please know you're all invited to Lippitt Park tonight at 5 o'clock. Lippitt Park is at 1008 Hope Street. And all are welcome. Certainly Providence Police and other folks will be on hand to make sure that we are all can be in community without any concerns tonight. I'd like to note that Family Services is here with us today, Margaret Holland McDuff. She is one of those community resources that has become available. I'd like to also acknowledge that the United Way of Rhode Island and their 211 system has been helping, and leaders from the Nonviolence Institute have been assisting with families in the hospitals. Additionally, Treasurer James Diosa and his Victim Compensation Fund has already been in touch to ensure that his office is doing everything that they can. Before I turn it over to the governor, I'll just share that a couple hours ago I was at the hospital. I know President Paxton has been several times, but I had a chance to meet with a few victims and their families. And while they are receiving excellent medical care, and I want to thank the professionals at Brown Health and Rhode Island Hospital, the professionalism, these folks, just like our law enforcement professionals, have been up all night working, but the level of care and professionalism that they are exhibiting is extraordinary. These survivors are receiving excellent care, and the resilience that these survivors showed and shared with me is frankly pretty overwhelming. It pales in comparison what they've gone through for the rest of us here. We're all saddened and scared and tired, but what they've been through is something entirely different, and yet they showed courage and hope and gratitude for how this community has stood up for them and how the healthcare providers cared for them. A couple of the family members who I had a chance to speak with are so grateful for what they've seen and heard of the outpouring of support from this community. And so I want to relay that to all of you, that they're watching what's happening also. And their healing is improved based upon all of the positivity and love and care that they've seen from not just the Rhode Island community, but frankly the national community. And so thank you. Governor McKee has been an incredible partner through all of this. And I'm grateful for his leadership and the compassion that he's shown and the relentless focus he's had on those individuals who are recovering in the hospital right now. And I'd like to invite the governor to say a few words.
So today, Brown students and the community is suffering and they're in pain. So please let the President and the Brown community know that we stand with you. So as we start this second day of this tragedy, I do feel as though it's important to really point out Mayor Smiley and his team, first responders, state police and our federal partners, Brown University, the staff at the hospitals, and as the mayor said, the media who's been able to really put out the the information that I'm sure is going to has helped accelerate the fact that we have someone in custody. The mental health support. The community needs our compassion and our support as the process of this horrific event unfolds. As governor and as a Rhode Islander, I get to speak on behalf of the people of the state of Rhode Island, as a dad, as a grandparent. It hits home to us, all of us, me included. While a suspect has been detained, our work as a state is not over. As governor, I'm committing to the city and to Brown and the broader community that has been impacted by this to make sure everyone who needs assistance, mental health assistance, can access them. Last night, we activated the state's trauma response team to help coordinate mental health resources with all partners. And to everyone in the nation, because this is a national event. I've had calls, like I said, personal calls with Hawaii, dad that has a freshman at Brown University. To everybody out there in the country, please send your prayers here to Rhode Island. And to all Rhode Islanders, let's do what we do best. Let's stand by and support our neighbors when they most need it. And we stand ready to do exactly that.
Thank you, Governor. I'd like to invite Senator Jack Reed to say a few words on behalf of the congressional delegation.
On behalf of Senator Whitehouse, Congressman Magaziner, Congressman Amo, I first want to express our profound condolences to those families who've lost a loved one and to those families who are struggling with a seriously injured child. We offer not only our sympathies, but our prayers for a speedy recovery. I must commend the leadership. Mayor Smiling has done a superb job. The governor has done a superb job. The president, President Paxton, and the Provost Doyle have also stepped up and done a superb job. We are also, I think, particularly indebted to the police officers and the firefighters from Providence, the Brown University Police Department, many departments, both police and fire from across the state of Rhode Island, our state police, and a special word of praise and thanks to our federal law enforcement officers, the FBI, the ATF. They have been instrumental, critical in the progress of this investigation so far. I received a call from Attorney General Pam Bondi, who and I shared my praise and thanks for the assistance of federal authorities. This has been a horrible, terrible moment. But in moments like this, we see the best of Rhode Island. The firefighters, the policemen, the civic leaders, neighbors who come together, and let us celebrate that community. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator. Finally, we'll hear from Providence Police Chief Colonel Oscar Fletch.
Thank you, Mayor. So yeah, the message is the same. I'll echo the message from the mayor earlier as far as where are we with the investigation. I'll tell you that right now, the investigation continues to progress extremely fast. We're in the process of collecting evidence and seizing items that we need to seize, search locations that we need to search. I want to commend the response, the quick response of ATF, FBI. The items get seized and collected. Obviously, they will provide the resources and the equipment that we need to ensure that we have the right legal requirements and facts in order to be able to provide that so that we can move along. I also want to commend the Attorney General's office, who has been standing by us to ensure that our process is continuing in a proper manner. And so that's where we're at with it. We'll continue. It's a complex investigation. I know there's some speculations out there about names, and I'm not here to confirm or comment. I know you're going to ask me that as far as names. I'll tell you that I'm not going to confirm or comment because in the years that I have in this department, in this police department, we stand on grounded facts, not speculation. And at that point, we'll be able to, once we're ready and we have the appropriate and accurate information, we'll be able to update you with that. My goal is that we're able to have that information as soon as possible. But again, I tell you that respectfully, and I have the responsibility to respect the integrity of this investigation. I think that it's complex. Any detective that worked last night and all the agents that worked last night, I have responsibility to respect the work that they're doing. And so when we're ready to provide you with that info and to come to give you the right info, I will make sure that you get that updated. So.
Colonel,
Colonel.
you managed to establish any connection between the suspects and the university. Why did the suspect target the university?
So that's all part of the investigations that we're conducting. And again, it's complex. And we want to make sure that once we have, at the appropriate time, give you the accurate information, we'll be able to provide that information for you in that instance. Go ahead, John.
Colonel, the person of interest, is that the same individual that we saw on the surveillance video you released?
So again, I'm not going to speculate. I want to make sure that if I give you an answer, it's grounded on facts.
Okay.
And so we're getting to that point, but it's going to take time. Detective work is not something that you can answer or solve within a minute. It takes time, and we have to make sure that we have the right evidence in order to prosecute somebody properly.
Just one more quick. What led you to Coventry? What led you to? There's Providence Police there, Coventry Police, FBI.
So I'm not going to confirm or comment on locations again, John. I'll tell you that I'm going to tell you exactly what I'm telling you is the fact that we're going to continue progressing on this complex investigation to make sure that we have all the facts together in order to be able to give you.
Do you feel better now than you did last night at midnight?
Absolutely. I think the great work with the men and women of this department, the collaboration with the different federal agencies, the fact that we're standing here all together and we all stepped up and we're making sure that we have the right answers and that we can continue on to bring peace, as the mayor stated, and calm to this city. It's a beautiful city and it's something that we take pride of. And so, yes, I feel much better.
Pat, and then the guy
Can you
behind.
talk to us about the process?
The most common question I've gotten in the last 24 hours, it revolves around the fact that Brown University is the most camera-ridden, most responsive piece of real estate in Rhode Island, and yet there seems to be little or no video evidence outside of that clip. You know, respecting the investigation, is there a lot more video that we're just not able to see yet because of the ongoing investigation, or is there simply no video?
So what we shared with you the other day is what we have that we could share, and then we'll continue to, again, we're continuing to collect evidence. As we speak, we have detectives out there trying to continue to find. So I don't want to tell you that there's no more video because we might find something in the next few minutes. So yes, it's possible, but what we gave you the other day is what we have. Go ahead.
So, Colonel, if you wouldn't mind, 2 questions here. Can you talk to us about the process of releasing this 10-second clip, now someone's in custody, kind of how you all are working together to garner that information? Someone being detained, rather.
Correct. And so, yeah, someone being detained, it led us to that point as far as like when we started, obviously, it's a fast move. It's a quick response right from the beginning. Once we get the call and you pull up to a scene, obviously as chaotic as it was, and then it gets to a point that now we're asking the public for help. Tips come in, federal agents come in. At that point, Providence Police respond, detectives get to do the work, and so that's where we started. And then we ended up getting obviously to a point where we find someone of interest, we bring them in, so we're I'm pretty confident in the work the men and women have done of the department. But I gotta respect their work. Some of them haven't gone to sleep. So I have to respect the fact that they're going to continue and give us what we need in order to be able to prosecute somebody properly. We like this.
Second question.
Sé que muchas personas volverán a la misma pregunta. ¿Podría brindar una actualización en español? Algo que sea útil para la comunidad hispana de Rhode Island.
Ciertamente que este departamento trabaja muy duro para encontrar respuestas. En este momento esto fue una situación muy trágica en la ciudad de Providence, pero me gustaría acordarle a la comunidad que este departamento siempre se responde de una manera muy importante y tenemos una persona en este momento que es de interés. Estamos colectando la evidencia que es necesaria para legalmente presentarlo a la corte para así poner los cargos que se necesitan presentar. En este momento tenemos unas ayudas, recursos de las agencias federales, también como del fiscal del estado y también de otros, pero yo quiero respetar el trabajo de mis detectives y tener lo que necesitamos para poder presentar a alguien en la corte positivamente.
Y el llamado al público para colaborar en la investigación, ¿cuál es?
Sí, muchísimas gracias al público. De pronto, si tienen alguna evidencia en este momento, pasaron por ahí y tienen algo que es importante para la policía, tenemos diferentes tip lines y también tenemos la oportunidad de que entren a la policía, nos llaman y si necesitan que un policía vaya a la casa de ellos para recoger esa evidencia, lo haremos.
Colonel, can you confirm whether the person of interest is from Rhode Island and have you found the weapon that was used?
Again, I'm not going to confirm the comment because I think this, I have a responsibility to respect the integrity of this investigation. It's a process and it's complex. And I don't want to be the one to stain that process.
And no one's charged yet.
At this point, no, correct. And so that's the other thing. I'm not going to speculate on something without grounded facts. If we're going to charge someone, then we're going to charge somebody and I'm going to come here and tell you.
How about the weapon?
Christmas to know.
How about the weapon? Have you found the weapon?
Again, we're in the process of collecting evidence, we're in the process of typing search warrants as needed, and we're in the process of doing what we need to do in order to be able to get those items.
Colonel, have you started to?
We heard of some people who work in the building who say they had some safety concerns, specifically with the lack of cameras in this building where the shooting took place. Do you know if there were cameras in the building? What was the security like in that building?
Again, I'm not going to comment as far as what's at this facility or what you're being told by or what information you're getting from somebody, but I can comment on the fact that we are working with what we have. And obviously we have somebody that's at the police station, a person of interest, and we're going to continue to build that case in order to be able to charge that person.
Colonel,
The director is saying that they found this person of interest in a Coventry hotel because of a tip from the Providence police. Can you confirm that? The FBI director is saying that.
Because of a tip of the Providence police. Again, I'm not going to.
Yeah, the FBI director is saying that they found the person of interest in a Coventry hotel because of a tip from the Providence.
So me personally, I'm not going to comment on what was told by another agency. What I'm telling you is the fact that we're going to continue this investigation. We're going to respect the integrity of it, and we're going to work closely with the Attorney General's office in order to be able to prosecute this person in the proper manner.
Colonel, have you started to say to parents around the country and around the world? There are many international students at Brown who are sitting there today wondering how a gunman was able to get so close to students. Did they have a swipe card? Were they let in somehow? What do you tell parents?
I'll tell the parents that this is a great city. Brown has been an icon in the city. I think that this is an unfortunate incident, but I'll tell the parents that if the kids are going to come to the city, to be sure that we're going to do what we need to make sure that they're safe. And if horrific incidents like this happen, we're going to do what we need to do to make sure that we hold those people accountable.
Colonel,
About the victims, can you give us any information about, the two people who died, if they were students, or if we're going to get their names at all?
As far as we understand, due to some travel, not all of the victims' families have been notified. And so I hope everyone can respect the fact that we cannot share victim information if we have not yet first notified the families. It is around the holidays and there are some people in transit, and so we need to allow for contact to be made before additional information is shared. I'm sorry that we're not able to share more. And I will just say, I know, and I said this at the outset, I know it is frustrating that we cannot share additional information on the investigation to date. However, as has been said now for almost 24 hours, bringing the individual responsible for this horrific act in our city to justice remains our top priority, along with the healing of their survivors. Bringing that person to justice means having a thorough, complete, and tight investigation, which then can be prosecuted successfully. That's how we bring justice to the individuals involved here. And so while it may be frustrating for certain members of our community to feel like we're not being fully forthcoming with some of the details, the reason that we are not sharing details that are unconfirmed is that it could compromise our prosecution. And hopefully everyone can appreciate that the top priority is in fact bringing a semblance of justice and closure. And the way in which we do that is with the strongest case possible that we can present that the Attorney General will prosecute. And so we will not share any details that we feel could compromise that future prosecution for the sake of justice for the families.
We know we've spoken to students who have been the victims of shootings in high school and now they're attending Brown. describing this as a uniquely American experience to go through not one, but two school shootings. What do you feel needs to be done to keep this from happening, to stop that cycle of violence? And President Paxton, if you want to weigh in as well, ma'am.
There's going to be many days, months, or I'm not sure how long, of both healing, but of also moments to advocate for what might need to change. Speaking for myself, at least, that's not today. We still have an active investigation underway. We still have students in the hospital. I won't be shy about sharing what I think needs to be done to make my community safer, but I'm not doing that today. What I will say is when I was at the hospital today, one of the students that showed tremendous courage literally said to me, you know, that active shooter drill they made me do in high school actually helped me in the moment. Which at the same time provided me hope and was so sad. We shouldn't have to do active shooter drills, but it helped. And the reason it helped and the reason we do these drills is because it's so damn frequent. And so there'll be plenty of time, at least for my office, and I don't speak for any of the other public officials there, they're welcome to share if they so choose. There'll be plenty of time to talk about what advocacy and policy changes should be made. But we're still very, very much hard at work at the task at hand, and that is to be able to bring charges forward on the person responsible. Sir.
And then can you just look at the nature of the conditions again? I know you did that this morning, but is everybody out of the woods?
The conditions have not changed as far as I understand. And so, as was said earlier this morning, one individual has been discharged. One individual remains in critical but stable condition, and the other 7 are in stable condition. I will say, I had conversations with 4 of the students, and they were talking to their healthcare providers, and so if there are status changes, we'll be sure to share.
May I have a question for you? People are asking, are you expecting to do continuous status updates throughout the day, such as this, or can they expect at a future press conference that there'll be additional information? What is your plan for keeping the public informed throughout this afternoon?
Yeah, thank you. Our expectation is that this is likely our last press conference here at the Brook Street Fire Station. We set up here last night because we were on the edge of campus. There was a lot of work happening all around us. They're still processing evidence on campus, but that crime scene is wrapping up. Most of the streets, other than immediately outside of the building, have been reopened. And so we do expect to provide future updates. We will likely provide those at the Providence Public Safety Complex, and we will provide them as there are meaningful updates to share. I know that it can be frustrating for some when the update is that there's no update. But in the absence of progress, and what's important is that the investigation take the time that it needs to be right. And so when we have no update to share, we will say there's no update to share. And when we have news to share, we will share that news. But our expectation is that this is our last press conference here at the Brook Street Fire Station as we're entering sort of a new chapter as the immediate crime scene winds down and we move on to what we hope will be a prosecution and to try to help our community heal. And we talk more about things like community resources, which we've announced today.
You mentioned family services as a crisis support line.
Thank you, Governor. Yes, for Rhode Islanders, Family Service of Rhode Island also has a crisis support line. The phone number is 401-854-6678. That's 854-6678. And the folks at Family Service of Rhode Island are extraordinary professionals who unfortunately have a lot of experience in this area and are a resource available to us. And I know Margaret Collins from Family Services here, and we're grateful for her for helping.
But Colonel, one more question, Colonel. Do you need anything from the public? In other words, is there still possibly someone out there that may have information that you need? Or, I mean, the students are now being allowed to leave the campus. Does that mean that there's no potential witness here? Where does it stand that the public could help?
Thank you, John. I think that, yeah, the pull out to the public is to, evidence that they think might be worth it for us to look at. Anything that they suspect to be important for the police department to look at, we're definitely, we welcome that. And so the message is please reach out. I think that one of the strongest things the Providence Police Department has is the partnership that we have with our different community members, as well as different colleges throughout the city. And so if they think that it's something that's important to us, please send it our way, because we'll definitely use it. It might be something that's important that you may think is not, but for us it is. So.
Colonel, can we describe him as a man in his 30s still? Can we still describe him as a man in his 30s, person of interest? A man in his
So
30s?
the person detained is actually a person in his 20s,
Can you clarify, is this officially a suspect? Is this someone in custody? What should we call this person? Have they been
You
arrested?
should call this person that we detain someone of interest at this point.
Detain someone?
What's the
This is-
difference?
this
From what I
is-
understand, Brown has sirens on their campus, emergency sirens to alert people in cases like this. Did those sirens go off, and if not, why?
So yesterday, I don't think they went off, and I believe the fact is it was fast. We had a quick response here to the police department, but there was a message. I'm not sure if that call went off. So
Chief, I don't know if there's
The sirens did not go off. Their original information that we received was from the officer who did not receive a call. The officer saw some of the students running from the location, and so it was an immediate response.
Colonel, one more question.
Hold on, John.
Can you talk about just what went into alerting the greater Brown area community, people who aren't Brown residents, maybe RISD students or faculty, people in that area? What went into alerting others?
For our community, it was our emergency notification system, some of which is shared by the rest was from City of Providence.
Colonel, can you just, Colonel,
Go ahead, please.
I know Colonel Chapman, correct. Can you tell us, does the person of interest have any connection to the Brown University community? And there was some report that he went into that building and yelled in the classroom. Do you have any more information about that?
So again, it's all details that are important. It's all part of the complex investigation that I spoke about earlier. I'm not ready to confirm or comment on any of that. Again, I got to respect the process. And so at this point, we're just going to continue like the mayor stated. It's complex, but we want to make sure that we have a successful prosecution. And that's more important to me than right now to give you something that's us.
Colonel, can you just address,
Colonel, have you started a process of search warrants, of any sort of legal process to sort of figure out any motive?
Yes, so at this point, we're coordinating with the Attorney General's office. We're working very closely with them. We're collecting evidence. We're in the process also of interviewing individuals. And so that's where we're at now.
And it'll be a state prosecution as opposed to a federal?
That's correct, sir, yes.
Colonel, the incident happened yesterday around 4 o'clock. Can you just touch on, it sounds like within 12 hours, you had a person of interest. Could you just talk about that? That's a short window.
It's hard work. It's just, it's like, it's all hands on deck. An incident of this nature, I think, takes a lot of resources. I think the fact that we work closely with our federal partners and different municipalities, the men and women of the Providence Police Department, the detectives, outstanding work, and I think that's why we have been able to move forward as we have in progress in such a fast manner in order to have somebody detained at this time.
Colonel President, what basis are you detaining this man, and how long do you have to further the investigation until you either have to charge him or release him?
Again, a situation like this, we have basis enough to bring somebody in based on a lot of different facts. And so those facts are the ones that are allowing us to have that person detained at this point, which I cannot comment as far as the weather.
How long do
We
you
have a
have
question
All right.
for President Paxton now.
How long do you have to charge him before you have to release him?
Again, it's moving pretty fast, and we will have an answer as fast as we can. So.
President Paxton, if you can, we know that these students were studying for the finals in the midst of their schoolwork here, and now students have been told classes are canceled, finals are canceled. Can you talk about the complete shift that this community is in right now, going from studying to now almost a ghost town as people are being reunited with their families?
Yeah. So thanks for the question. It is a big shift and not the way we hope to end this semester, obviously. I was in what we call the RADI, or main dining hall today. There were a lot of students gathered there. They are amazing, and they're supporting each other.
Talk about the emotions you're feeling right now, because you care for the students.
Yeah, I do. And, you know, right now, I think, as the mayor was saying, the students in the hospital, I've talked to all but one of them, the students on campus, there's just a lot of gratitude right now, and they're remarkable.
Right, that's it for now. We will keep you posted on future updates. Again, our expectation is that this is the last update here at the Brook Street Fire Station. If you are not yet on Josh's press list, Josh, raise your hand. He's there. That's how you will be apprised of future updates, and our expectation is that we'll be at the Providence Public Safety Complex for future updates.
Okay.
Thank you very
Just
much.
heard, yeah, from Mayor Brett Smiley here, shortly after you for a press conference at the firehouse on Brook Street. Not much of an update.
All right, folks, we'll circle back later on. I don't think it's the update that people wanted, but we're pretty confident of the person that is being detained.
Earlier.
We're going to sign off for now.
Oscar Perez,